Right. We'll wait for people to join in. Yeah, we'll just start in a minute or two. Hopefully, a few more people will join in. Right, let's start then at least. Maybe some people will join in later. So, a passage for today is on international financial crime. One is concealing or disguising the identity of illegally obtained proceeds so as that they appear to have originated from legitimate sources. It is frequently a component of other, much more serious crimes such as drug trafficking, robbery, or extortion. According to the IMF, global one is estimated between 2 to 5% of world GDP. Terrorism financing is the act of providing financial support to terrorists or terrorist organizations to enable them to carry out terrorist acts or to benefit any terrorist or terrorist organization. While funds may come from criminal activities, they may also be derived from legitimate sources. For example, through revenue from legitimate businesses or donations, including through non-profit organizations. There are generally three stages in terrorism financing. Two. We'll see the second question is about that, but let's go see what the first question is for today. Okay, a lot more people have joined in. That's nice to see. What is one? If you're familiar with the topic, it should be an easy question. If you're not, you might have some trouble. Right? Money laundering is the answer. Insider trading basically refers to using insider knowledge you might have to unjustly, let's say, profit from the stock market. For example, you know that major incident has happened at a company because you're higher up at the company, and then you sell your stocks after that, but before the news comes out. That would be insider tradings. That's why there are regulations on when company executives can sell the stocks in the company. That's an interesting topic at law, but yeah, much farther ahead for you in college. Hopefully, you'll get to study that in a nice college. Embezzlement, that's essentially thefts of assets that have been entrusted to you by someone else. So, say a shopkeeper's a cashier, he takes some of the money away for himself. That basically that's embezzlement. Yeah, but the answer is money laundering. We read what money laundering was, so let's move to the second question. Wait, second question. Yes. Which of the following is not a part of two? Yep, all are a part of two. I put this question, it's an easy question. I just put it so to re emphasize that point that these three are a part of the stages of terrorism financing or whatever was in the paragraph that used. Let's see what the third question is. How does the FATF classify India? So you'll see the four classifications FATF has for countries which are classified. So, in which category does India come? Regular follow up is indeed the answer. FATF's report on India has recently come out, so I put a question. These are the four categories. Yeah, from going from regular follow up all the way to blacklist. Grey list and blacklist lead to restrictions on funding imports, stuff like that. So you don't want to be on there, especially when it comes to foreign exchange and international banking. It causes a lot of problems, sanctions, etc. We'll have a question related to blacklist later, but for now, let's see what the fourth question is. Find the odd one out. The question is about. Well, you see what it's about. I'll elaborate further once you've all answered. The question is about terrorists. Relatively easy answer for those who knew what Naxalites were who knew what Boko Haram were. Those who didn't knew one or both of the two might have got a bit confused. So all of them refer to terrorist groups. Difference is one that Boko Haram, ISIS, and Al Qaeda are Islamic fundamentalists. Naxalites are radical communists, and the first three are more organized relatively. Naxalites themselves have multiple organizations and fractures. So it refers to a group, you can say, while Boko Haram, ISIS, and Al Qaeda, though even ISIS has a lot of factions. For example, ISIS-K specifically is active in Afghanistan. But yeah, the main difference is their purpose, which is Islamic fundamentalism versus uh, communist extremism. Naxalites, of course, are active in India. Al Qaeda and ISIS used to be active in much of the Middle East. Boko Haram is active in sub Saharan Africa. So, last question. I mentioned it would be related to the blacklist. Which of these countries is not on FATF's blacklist? Three of these countries are, you have to tell me which one is not a part. Pakistan is indeed the answer. In Iran, North Korea, definitely international pariahs, so they are on the blacklist. Myanmar has not been doing so well ever since the junta took over, and they're essentially in a state of civil war in the country. So yeah, Pakistan has actually put in some efforts, at least on paper, enough to satisfy the FATF, so they're no longer on the grey list, even let alone blacklist. Though that's at least for now. That might change for better or worse in the future, but that's for another day. Let's see the leaderboard for now. Anonymous leading. Tom and Akhil not so far behind. We have plenty more questions today, so let's see what the elite based one liners have for us today. Exercise Maitri is a joint military exercise between India and which country? The name in this case doesn't give you much of a hint. But yeah, Thailand is indeed the answer. Great job. Which of the following is India's first indigenous aircraft carrier? It was bigger news last year and last to last year, but you should still know it. INS Vikrant is the answer. INS Vikramaditya, that's the other aircraft carrier we have. It's not indigenous, it was bought from a different country. INS Arihant is a submarine, and INS Shivalik is, I believe, a frigate. I'm not sure about that, but it's part of the surface navy and not an aircraft carrier. So, yeah. Let's see. Eighth question. Are we having some internet issues? No. Okay. Which country is India's biggest trade partner in South Asia? The question is South Asia. India's biggest trade partner overall is China. Following after that is the USA. Both very close, very big trade partners. Big, since they're both big countries, big economies. For a lot of countries, they will be the top two. Not every, but for a lot. Yes, but in South Asia, it's Bangladesh. We trade a lot with Bangladesh. Densely populated country, but not the same problems, not even close to the same problems we have with Pakistan. So they're our biggest trade partner in South Asia. On which days is National Statistics Day celebrated? It was put after the birth anniversary of PC Mahalanobis, the father essentially of modern statistics in India. 29 June is the answer. PC Mahalanobis will also be familiar with you if you're looking into the 5-year plans India has, specifically the second year one. Around which point is Aditya in a halo orbit? I didn't put the Aditya's full name because that would make it too obvious. It is a solar mission of ISRO. It entered orbit this year only. It was launched last year, but this year it entered orbit. So that's why it's a bit relevant. L1 is the answer. Bonus points for anyone who knows the full form of L. Well, not actual bonus points, but yes, from my side, I would acknowledge you. But yeah, moving on to the next question. Which of the following teams has not won two T20 World Cups? I wouldn't ask which one has, that would be too easy, or which one just won. But this, which one hasn't, that might be a bit more tricky for you because all very good teams, at least historically. Australia is indeed the answer. The other three have won twice. Australia has not achieved their feat quite yet. T20 World Cups themselves have had a lot of victors, so yeah. What regulatory authority has been established under Section 10 of the Consumer Protection Act? Section is not that relevant, but I put it because there was no real reason not to. The relevant is which regulatory authority. Surprised, a lot of you went for try. If you look at Consumer Protection Act, that's CPA, Central Consumer Protection Authority. So if you thought about it like that, it would have been an easy question. But yeah, TRAI is the Telecom Regulatory Authority. It deals with companies like your Jio and Airtel and all. NCLAT and CAT are tribunals. NCLAT is National Company Law Appellate Tribunal. So it's the last appellate tribunal before Supreme Court itself for company law matters. There's a tribunal below that that handles direct company law matters. And CAT is Central Administrative Tribunal. It deals with service matters of government employees, central government specifically. State tribunals deal with those for state service employees. Regulatory agencies and especially tribunals, an important part, of course, of legal. So you should be familiar with at least the big ones out of them. CCPA not so much, but it should have been a manageable question. From which country's constitution has the Indian constitution taken the concept of procedure established by law? It it doesn't come up as much as the big ones like fundamental rights or fundamental duties and all, but it's a very important topic in law. Japan is indeed the correct answer. We've taken other things from the other countries, for example, emergency provisions from constitution of the Weimar Republic in Germany, the one between World War One and Hitler's regime, essentially. And we've taken TPSPs, I believe, from Ireland and South Africa. I don't exactly recall right now, but we definitely have taken something from the constitution. A blank is a type of tax that is levied on companies or individuals who have unexpectedly or dramatically gained large profits. If you know what the options mean, or if you have, I'll say, strong vocabulary, you'll be able to answer. Windfall tax is indeed the answer. Windfall refers to the unexpectedly or dramatically large profits. self-explanatory in that way. Usually in volatile fields like crude oil price, a sharp rise or fall might result in greater profits. So accordingly, the government sets a windfall tax. On which day of the year is nighttime the shortest? A static question, easy one. Basic science or basic yeah, we studied with you can study it with geography. It's easy one. I'm surprised that some of you got this wrong. Nighttime is shortest. That's summer solstice. Solstice. Day is the longest. Nighttime is the shortest. The opposite is there in winter solstice. We have your short days and long nights, and the days and nights are equalish in vernal and fall equinox. That's where the equine equinox comes from. Exactly equal, they'll only be in equatorial regions, but yeah, the midpoint you can say between summer and winter solstice, that's the two equinoxes. Vernal is the spring one, and fall is autumn. So let's see who won today's quiz. Right. Anonymous has a solid lead by fast, by and at the first position. Akhil Zadarat very close second, third. Great effort by the rest as well. Thank you then. And the L in L1 refers to language, named after a scientist who worked on this. So, with that note, I'll end the stream for today. Thank you.